So we've got another game between Neadeath and Ffnez. It's just wetlands. So spawning on the left, we've got Neadeath as the Greek, the red Greek player. On the right, we got Ffnez as the blue Celt. Well, it looks like I'm casting this one then. I suggested restart. Neither of them have said anything. So Ffnez is actually taking an early barracks. Neadeath is taking an early storehouse, but looks to be taking a barracks behind that, considering his wood count. So, I wonder if this villager is going to rally on the gold. No, there we go. It's always unfortunate when you don't rally it and it rallies to the wrong resource. So we've got a barracks coming out now for Neadeath, and Ffnez's had his finished now. So he's got 7 villagers on the berries, as opposed to his opponent. He's got 3 on the hunt, with that 4th, which will probably go to the hunt as soon as it's finished with the barracks. Quite a short rush distance on this map. It's quite a funny map. There's water all in the middle of the map, but there's no actual fish. Huh. Those spears are amazing. Looks so cool. So we're gonna have Celt kebabs tonight, aren't we? No, Greek kebabs tonight, said the Celt bloke. We're gonna have some Greek kebabs, said the Celt bloke, and he's coming in now. I'm gonna get some Greek villager meat on his kebab. There we go. Might even pick this off. Oh no, there we go. So Neadeath rallying back in time. He's got a couple of spears to defend. And the Celt player getting some more behind this. Actually stopping for now. Taking his picker's gloves upgrade. So it is real unfortunate that Ffnez isn't actually able to get onto the hunt. I'm not quite sure where the hunt would be. He's actually sort of in a bit of a lull economically. Neadeath's actually able to take an early H2 considering he's got this early hunt. So I think this is why this map is really sort of frowned upon, because you can really get screwed over in terms of your early hunt positioning. I'm saying that Ffnez probably could be doing a bit more of a proactive scout around this little bit out here. So it's probably is a hunt somewhere there. But in saying that, yeah, it is a bit of a pain in the ass to try and get to it sometimes. And yeah, your opponent can really get a big advantage, big lead off that. So Ffnez sort of wrapping around the back of the base. Gonna try and put some pressure on the wood line, I think, if he can get to it. There are some spears here defending it though, so Neadeath has hit his age 2. He's already queuing up his early age 2 upgrades. His handsaw and pickaxe already in production. Ffnez needs to try and back out with his spears for too long. He's going to get out it just in time, I think. That's pretty good harass to that storehouse. He's trying to come in on this bottom side, but he's not able to do anything to great effect at the moment. The single spears being rallied in there, just being picked off, which is really unfortunate for him. So we can't afford to be falling any further behind economically at the moment, I don't think. Although in saying that, he's up to 18 villages to his opponent's 15, so that is quite nice for him. So he's in quite a good position to really play catch up on placing his H2 town centre down. His H2 timing was probably a little bit more preferable, considering his opponent. He's going to be able to force out a range, but not really any units before then, because he's going to want to save the wood in order to force out the TC. So he's got his H2 now, behind on this. Just finally said something about the hunts. And yeah, it is really unfortunate for him to knock in a hunt on this map. Sort of why this one's not played in the tournaments. There is one up there, but it is actually past the wolves, so that's a really crappy hunt position. Especially being so far away, so. But being Keldon saying that if he does throw down some early Sacred Groves and make use of the Sacred Deer, he may be able to play catch up through that. Not many of the other civs have too many mechanics to really play catch up with the food economy so quickly as Celts, except for maybe Babylon. And he is going to just miss this, I think. Oh no, he would have seen them come through, so he's just going to miss the TC though. You don't need a... He isn't actually going to see the TC being thrown down. It's a little bit unfortunate because I don't think he's really been paying too much attention to what's going on over there. His camera's just sort of been over this side, so he's going to rally away. Still hasn't seen that town centre. He's still not going to see it. Neadeath is sort of backing around his opponent's base to see what's going on. He's going to miss the town centre completely. Just going to see another barracks in production. Really a bit unfortunate for him. Neadeath. Yeah, he's going to miss the fact that his opponent has sort of surged ahead with the early barracks. It's a nice healthy spear count too. So at the moment Neadeath tries to push out with this, I think Ffnez is going to send these in. He's in sort of a nice position to do that, I think. If he just transitions onto Long Swordsman over the Spearman as soon as he can. Maybe even look at taking conditioning. Really bolstering his gold economy. He's got a lot of houses being thrown down and some more even coming, so... But I think he's just getting them a little bit too early, a little bit too ambitious. You might want to try and get as many more of the units out as you can to just be under the population amount. Then build some houses. Without being house is sort of the art of expansive macro. He's going to get some good vision here, so Ffnez is going to know that the TC is not over here at all, and he's going to see all where everything is, but he has missed it again. So neither player is really aware of one another's second town centre positioning at the moment. There's a 31 to 25 population gap in favour of the Celt player. Yeah, that's actually looking at going up his wheelbarrow tech. Ffnez finally playing a bit of catch up with his economic tech. So Sacred Grove actually being thrown down. I wonder if this will be a macro grove again this game. So bit of a lull in play again. Ffnez's got a nice count of spears up here, but they're just not really doing anything. And for too long, there's going to be too many bowmen for them to really be useful in anything other than harass-based play. And he really does need to start getting some units at home to defend here. He's a little bit too slow with trying to mass up a big unit count, but in saying that, they are quite a cheap, quite an effective raiding unit. And so Neadeath has quite a nice mixed force, really. He's got those 4 early spearmen as well as all of his Hypothesis and his Toxotes, so he's going to be able to do a great deal of siege to anything down here, but I don't think he realises there's actually a TC there. So he's going to force a lot of villagers back into the TC. But in saying that, back at home, he's going to have a lot here to actually deal Good amount of harass to his opponent. We would have been best off getting those 3 or 4 villager kills there as well. Because this is not too healthy of a trade for him. He's going to lose the TC. He's going to get a range, but he's going to lose the TC right now. There's a lot of villagers here that could be sniped that are going to be able to repair this too, so... Both players in a bit of a sloppy spot right now. TC slowly not really going anywhere in terms of health. Now Neadeath is choosing to kill all the villagers. Ffnez actually opted for an H3 behind this, so that's really interesting. Neadeath has lost a great deal of production though. He actually lost 2 facilities and a couple of houses then, I believe, so. But Neadeath is still doing a good deal of damage to Ffnez's economy down here on the bottom side. There's an awful lot of villagers being picked off now. So he's down to 34 villagers. So right now he's not really ahead on his villagers anymore. He had a nice lead of about 5 or 6 earlier, and he's really only sort of slid backwards there. He has actually saved the TC though, so that's actually one big benefit to him. So Neadeath sort of unable to pick off the town centre, and this sort of bought himself a bit more time back at home, but wouldn't take too much for the Celt player to be able to mass up a similar force like that if he can afford it. Last couple of units being mopped up right now by Ffnez. A lot of really low villagers there that Archer probably could have helped in killing there. These 2 spears sort of just watching the gold mine and the berries just up on that side. So Ffnez in a nice spot to take his 3rd town centre, I believe. Neadeath is probably just going to try and max out somewhat and push out. He's already got a nice healthy force here, while the Celt player is sort of a bit behind in terms of his unit count. 5 barracks is already, but I think because he's not really able to get too much food out on the map, he's sort of a bit food starved at the moment. He really needs to force out as many sacred deer as possible, take the berries, skip the farms, take the hunt up here if he wants any chance of surviving this. I think there's just so little food on the map. Goes here, nice engagement here by Neadeath, because he's going to be able to deal a lot of damage. He's going to kill all these forces of the Celt player and be able to siege the town centre yet again. Really nice to see the gold mine tech. It's going to keep all the villagers safe, but there is some over here that are going to fall. And then the town centre is really going to be under threat. It's more and more forces are going to be massed up by the Greek player and initiating here. There's nothing here on the top side this time to really buy Ffnez some time here and get him some of his own pressure, so he might slowly be raided to death on this side of the map, I think. Because by the time these guys all get finished off, there's going to be another force here to come in and really tie up this town centre again. So Ffnez is really sort of on the back foot again. There's a 3rd town centre being thrown up just in range of the 2nd one, so maybe this is sort of an attempt to try and get a lot of the units to come up, but without enough there building it quickly, then he's just going to lose too much too quick. There's no units here to actually interrupt these Toxotes at all, so he's going to lose effectively the 2 town centres. It's going to set him back over 1,000 resources on the spot, basically, and Neadeath is going to age up behind this and take his 3rd town centre. He's actually got a shit ton more stone than he really needs. He's got over 1,000. He's got 1,500 stone. He doesn't really even need that. Really, probably only needs maybe 800 or 700. Get some towers, get a town centre, maybe get a fort. And so Ffnez is sort of in panic mode right now. He's sort of getting the warriors out where he can, but he's sort of forced back on the longswordsman as well. And there's just too much for him to deal with here. He's just got too many workers that are going to fall too quickly here, I think. It's just more and more being parade pushed across the map here from Neadeath. He's got a couple rally back at home though that could probably help clean this up just that little bit faster. But Ffnez, he's not letting go. He might be able to do this. He's going to try and get that second town centre down one way or another. And he's still got all these villages in the gold mine to send out at some point too. So perhaps if he had been a bit more patient, he had a bit more of a critical mass at home, I think he could have been able to defend this a little bit easier. He's going to try one last ditch attempt to try and save the town centre, but I think it's just going to be too little too late in a sense. There's just way too much here from the Greek player, and Neadeath has done a great job at just parade pushing everything across with those two groups, and then following up with the continual production. He's actually going to back out now for some reason, even though his opponent's so close to death. I'm not quite sure why. There's nothing being raided at home, and Neadeath's actually backing off. Really, he could have sealed the deal there. If he had sniped all the rest of the villages, it would have been. I think it would have been over. Ffnez is down to 40 villages to Neadeath's 45, and effectively has no army. I think Neadeath though, he is backing off to try and maybe take a really aggressive fort somewhere now though. Let's try and force his opponent out of the game now. But if he takes too long, Ffnez might be able to do something on this top side. He's going to get some villager kills up here on the top side, which is really nice for him. It's really just loosen the pressure valve somewhat. Neadeath's going to lose a couple of workers out of that. Although he's got tons of stone, but I suppose he could always rally the villagers onto another resource, and I suppose now he can't because those two spears have picked off all 6 of them. But he's going to finish this fortress right on Ffnez's doorstep. And FF doesn't really have the wood to be able to afford anything right now. He's had to invest a lot repairing those town centres, taking another tower down here to help defend that side, taking some more barracks, up to 7 barracks, and he's got 3 archery ranges as well, so I don't know if you can actually afford this many production facilities right now. He's only on 50 workers basically. He's actually pulling ahead of Neadeath on workers because of those villagers sniped up here, I think, which is now being cleaned up since by Neadeath. But in terms of his army size again, he's still well behind on that. He is playing catch up a little bit, but he needs to be a bit careful here. He needs to be mindful of the fact that when they are packed up so tightly here, he's going to have villagers standing around doing nothing like this girl, who really could be rallied onto one of these deer here. And the trick to really being able to do something is if you control click the deer and rally for them to move somewhere, because they all stack up like that. The moment you do, they no longer do, and suddenly they've all got unit collision again. So they all split and, you know, actually group up around all your storehouses, which is ideal because you don't want the villagers, you want them as close to the storehouse as possible, but if they're bumping into one another to get to the storehouse, that's time that you're costing yourself. And right now, Neadeath is really solidifying his position against FF. He's sort of backed off into the corner. He's actually taking the southern gold mine as well, which is really smart. But if he's willing to do that with the golds, maybe he should have looked at doing that with the food up here, considering there was 2 hunts there and there that could have really put him ahead early, rather than having to invest so much into the groves. And likewise, because he's using his only groves as continual deer production, he's not getting any druids, which is also holding him back a little bit. And right now, he's on basically a pure infantry. He's got a couple of bowmen now, but he's on effectively a pure infantry army up until right now, and I think it's really started to hurt him. There are even some peltasts in the mix to help deal with his bowmen, and he hasn't actually got any slingers to deal with that, and right now, he's sort of on his last legs. He's really being forced back. Second fortress might be denied. He might have just enough to deny it, but I don't know if Neadeath is going to be able to... if he's going to be able to shake Neadeath from here. Nice use of the bowman, but there are some peltasts to clean them up. There are just too many of the hypers. Second fortress is going to get slowly finished off. There is still 5 workers building that one. Neadeath's Neadeath's forced FF and Easy to get a fortress of his own, but again, it might be a little bit too little too late. He's going to be able to clean one of the villages up, but there's still 4 more to go. And the first ram for FF, the first ram for Neadeath has popped out, and FF has really only got Bowman to try and deal with this at the moment. So that's going to fall that fortress, and the town centre is going to start comping it immediately, and there's just not enough units for FF to be able to deal with this, I don't think. He's going to frantically try to throw up another fortress, but it's going to get denied again. The gold mine is also in the line of fire. First ram of Neadeath's actually falling, but the second is overhead, putting in the work, destroying the houses. Try and sneak past all the longswordsmen and get a shot off on something, but it's not quite. But there are the 2 fortresses. The second one's all finished up now, so things are really not looking good for FF right now. It just doesn't have units anywhere on the map except right here defending, and unless you're getting the better trade here, it's pretty much over, unfortunately. He just doesn't have spears or cavalry or something to harass elsewhere on the map. Doesn't have the woads to be able to push his opponent back until, oh, he's finally maybe done it, but it's taken so much. Neadeath really has done so much damage to his opponent. He's got these 2 forts here. Really defending this position. He can get rams at any stage. The barracks is nearly finished. Just needs to send a couple of villagers around, and I think it's pretty much over. But he is only 49 villages. FF has done a better job at actually getting villagers behind this. He's up to 64, so FF's doing a wonderful job at growing his economy behind this. Taking the storehouse, the backside of his base. He's going to finish this fortress now. And he's doing a good job of keeping everything tucked in behind here. He's lost a couple of production facilities, but it hasn't been too huge of a loss. He's got some more here, got some guard towers to help defend. Able to see where his opponent's coming in, whether or not he can take those resources, and he's actually popped Rite of Damara, so he can actually train units faster, but he's got nothing in production at the moment, so he's lost the houses. Rite of Damara is unfortunately going to be a little bit of a waste right now. There's just more expansion, more and more expansion from Neadeath coming out, and FF Damara has ended, and he's only just got the houses to really start growing his army, so that's really unfortunate for him. The fortress is just outside the TC range, but able to hit it. So this isn't really looking too good for FF. Sort of forced to have to try and get the line of sight upgrade just to be able to see as much as he can of his opponents. He's going to try and engage here now that he's got some rams of his own. There is a big force here for Neadeath, but it's well tucked in behind everything. So he's going to be able to snipe 1 or 2 of these fortresses maybe. But he's brought his archers back, and that might not have been the best idea. He might have been able to get a whole bunch of damage here, rather than really throwing away a lot of his infantry, so things just really don't seem to be going his way right now, FF. And Neadeath has got some more rams of his own. So it's been a bit of a long, slow siege, this one. Neadeath's just sort of growing his economy around the map, but eventually these guys are going to meet here down the bottom side of the map too. I think Neadeath is really going to try and choke him out on the top side of the map too. It's going to be quite hard for FF to really sneak up the back of the map and get some resources. This town centre is slowly going to fall. It's only taking 30 damage at a time. So little by little. Oh, here we go. The gold mine again taking the potential storehouse. Hurry up and garrison your villagers, or take the fight. Take the fight. You've got more villagers, man. You've got more villagers. Take the fight. No, he says, nope, I'm going to back off. But he's probably going to send something to go down and deal with that. And from there, he's really going to be able to start cleaning up FF's gathering on the underside of the map. And then from there, I don't know where FF gathers. Like, he doesn't have a lot of farms. He's going to run out of wood eventually. And his market isn't even built yet. So he's not able to spend everything up, turn it into gold. He's going to lose some villages here on the top side, no doubt going to try and throw down a watchtower or something. So FF just doing his best to try and max out behind this, but he can't really afford a great deal. He's really sort of capped for gold. He's gonna have to try and hold on to this gold mine here at the bottom side. This main town center of his is going to start falling soon if he doesn't send a third villager to repair it, I don't think. And he's actually deleting some storehouses to... Oh no, that's the gold mine falling. So FF is down to only that single gold mine at the bottom side now. Behind enemy lines. He's forced to try and take the stone mine as well. Getting some nice damage on his opponent's army there. Good number of rams. It's only 2 for the Greek player. So FF, not the worst possible spot he could be in, but pretty close to it. He has got this underside gold mine, and I think if he didn't have that, he'd really be up shit creek right now. But the fact that he's got that, if he can catch these rams before they engage, he can actually really push out here. But if he misses these rams, or if he tries engaging and sending everything this way, because the 2 Palantonon versus 1 Stone Thrower isn't going to be too healthy of a trade for him, especially when there can be more that pop out behind that. And these rams are just sitting there patiently waiting, just patiently waiting. First storehouse first fortress storehouse falls for Neadeath, but FF's actually falls behind this. He's got some stone throwers to try and deal damage to the other buildings, and he's actually managing to force all of Neadeath's army back here, but oh, Neadeath's actually GGing. Neadeath GG's. Did he run out of... Neadeath ran out of gold in the meantime. And there's gold on the backside of the map, but I don't know if he actually scouted that, or the topside gold. Yeah, well, I did not expect that at all. I really sort of expected FF to have that one last ditch effort, but then sort of eventually get rallied by Neadeath. But I think Neadeath just didn't realize he had the gold up here, and didn't opt to fight for it on the bottom side of the map. So that's really what hurt him. He could have even taken the gold here. So this gold mine. Gold mine OP.